How's it going? Hope you're having a good day. For this video, I wanted to go over the things that I didn't like about the Battlefield 5 closed alpha. I wasn't able to put in as much time as I wanted to due to my headset breaking and me needing to buy a new one. However, I was able to put in 7 or 8 pretty good hours. So like I said, for this video, I'll be going into the things I didn't like. One thing to keep in mind is, yes, this is the closed alpha. A lot of things will change, but feedback is also important. So one of the most annoying things I found in the game were the visuals. Now, this is the visuals overall. The sun was super bright, and there was like a weird lens flare thing going on, but it wasn't a lens flare. I couldn't really explain it. It was just super weird and really bright. Along with that, all the other visuals as well. It's just, they seemed like they were trying to do too much at the same time, such as the particle effects. Those were overbearing in certain situations, especially in the houses where it seemed like it was super dark and the snow would come through the walls. Along with that, I really think that the visual when you unlock something or went to the next level was way too much. Like, it looks good. I think it looks really good, but that's something that should only be like in the menus when you're unlocking stuff, or at the end of the round where you go up a level or unlock stuff and it does it then. When it does it in the middle of a gunfight, it's really super annoying. So I hope they get rid of that and just have like a drop down thing, or it just shows that, hell, hey, you leveled up or you unlocked this, instead of all the bright visuals that go with it. Moving on towards gameplay, I feel like DICE is really in this weird spot where they're trying to be competitive, but more towards casual at the same time. Like, they're leaning more towards casual, but they still want competitive elements in the game. And I think they have to kind of go more towards the competitive gameplay, because they can still have casual features that really benefit other players. One of the things I'm talking about is the new, like, attrition system that they've implemented. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to the fact that you don't spawn with as much ammo as you used to in previous Battlefield games, along with not being able to regenerate health fully. Now, the health thing didn't really seem as much of a problem, but the ammo thing definitely did. If I remember correctly, I spawned with a sniper rifle. I get 5 rounds in the rifle and 10 extra to carry. I can go get ammo from either a person or from a crate, and I would get an extra 5 rounds. Granted, I think you should start with at least 1 additional magazine, no matter what gun you're going with. It was really annoying, and you ran out of ammo really quickly, no matter what the weapon was. And this is what I'm talking about, the difference between competitive and casual. This is a fairly casual series in terms of the player base that they have, and you get a lot of people who come in, they just want to play, they want to have fun. They don't understand if they're using support, they need to throw ammo, or if they're using health, they need to throw health. So it makes it real difficult to find guys that will do their job based on their class. So there were a lot of medics that would run over my body, would never even attempt to revive me when there were no enemies around. And the same with ammo guys, right? The support guys weren't throwing ammo a lot of the times. And this is something that we're used to from previous Battlefield games. And it seems like DICE is just not comprehending this and grasping it well enough. So I really think they need to allow us to spawn with a little more ammo to counteract this. I can understand where they're going with this, so you could try to push people more towards the objectives. But they also had ammo crates and whatnot outside of the objectives. But I found myself playing around the ammo more so than playing around the objective. And that was really annoying to me, because instead of playing around the objective and looking for enemies sort of thing, I was more playing around the ammo and looking for enemies just so I could drop a few people, make sure I had enough ammo to continue on. For me, it made it difficult to be as aggressive as I wanted to, because if I had enough ammo, I would have been able to push up more aggressively with my team. Granted, when people aren't throwing ammo, I have to stay back towards where I can get it. Otherwise, I run out of ammo as I'm pushing up. And that brings me to another point. You didn't really get enough ammo from dead bodies, especially as a sniper. If you kill one guy and you go get the ammo from his body, you get 1 additional round. That's nowhere near enough to me, right? Because if I'm at a distance and I kill him, then I'm risking myself to go to his body to get ammo for 1 additional round. However, at the same time, on the flip side, if I'm up close and I happen to outplay somebody and kill them with a sniper rifle, I'm only rewarded with 1 additional round. Like, it doesn't feel very rewarding or worthwhile to go after a dead body to get ammo if I'm only going to receive 1 additional round. One thing that I found annoying was shooting people in the head with sniper rifles sometimes didn't kill them. I figured out that a little bit of it was after a person spawns, it does considerably less damage. However, there was one point where a person they spawned or were revived something, they were laying down on the ground, and they were there for a while, like 5 or more seconds, and I shot them in the head and it still did minimal damage. Maybe they have it tied in like they used to before, where you were somewhat impervious until you started moving. If that's the case, I think they need to get rid of that. It needs to be until you move or a short amount of time, like 1 second, before you can get shot and killed. Another thing I noticed is when enemies were on like stationary weapons, sometimes my headshots would kill them and sometimes they would do way less damage. I don't know if this was just based on which stationary weapon they were on. Maybe it like gave them armor or something. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but really, if they're on a stationary weapon, I should be able to just shoot them in the head and take them out. This isn't like they had the elite classes in Battlefield 1, so I don't see what the issue is with that and why all of a sudden they had, like, more health. This could have just been a glitch, but I'm really not sure. And when it comes to headshots, I read that they had lowered the headshot hitbox from Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5, but then for the closed alpha, they ended up increasing it a little more. Granted, I think it may be a tad bit too big. I wasn't able to actually go in and test this and shoot around somebody's head, but there were several times that I shot at people and I got headshots that I didn't feel like I shot anywhere really near their head, or I would hit them in like the lower part of their neck and it would give me a headshot. So I think they just really need to tighten that up a little bit, because I felt like even though I get a lot of headshots, there were a lot that I didn't deserve. A couple of smaller things I want to go over. One of them is not being able to be revived after squad death. I'm not really sure how I feel about that one. It was kind of annoying, but at the same time, I kind of get it. So that one's really a toss-up to me. It's just something I would have to get used to, but even then, I'm not sure still how I feel about it. Also, when it comes to spawning on squad mates, I do like that you can see what your squad mate is able to see before you spawn on them. However, my problem with that is I have no clue where the hell they're at on the map. At least give me some sort of visual representation or a map, something of where they're at, not just what they're seeing, because that just made it really annoying altogether. I preferred Battlefield 4, where you could select your squad mate on the map and then it had a visual of what they were seeing. I think that was considerably better because now I have more information. If I'm just seeing over their shoulder, I don't know where they're at on the map, and I can't see everything, especially if they're in a building, so I can't see if there's any enemies spotted or what. And personally, I didn't use any of the planes or tanks, but playing against them, I found them to be quite weak, actually, especially the planes. I got killed by a plane maybe twice in 7 or 8 hours, and yeah, I like that just because Battlefield 1, it was crazy ridiculous how many times you got killed by planes, but I feel like they're just a tad bit too weak. Now, when it comes to the tanks, I think they're considerably closer to being balanced from what I was able to see. However, they also felt like they were a little weak at times. Maybe that's just because the alpha and people not being used to it. That could also be with the planes, but even then, there were plenty of times where I'm getting strafed by a plane, like 3 or 4 times in a row, and it's just, I never even got hit. So I think that's something they need to look into. Anyway, I don't want this video to run on any longer, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I will be posting another video talking about the positives that I got from the closed alpha, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, when the beta comes out, I will be playing and streaming that also. I'll still be playing and streaming Battlefield 1 as well. I really need to go test the most recent update for that. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. RAMTEID out.